What's up, you guys? This is Jenny, and this is our Hellbent yoga class. It's yoga for bikers, but it's also for people who have like any kind of compromised immune system or autoimmune issue, any kind of flare-ups that way, people who have prolonged postures and things of that nature. And this is a great class for all levels, especially beginners. And we're going to even do some different things in our chair today so that you can see like how you can be doing things even if you take a break and you're sitting down at a restaurant, you're grabbing a bite to eat or something of that nature. You can be sitting there and doing a few things, or you can sit on a bench and do a couple things to help relieve that pain in the lower spine. That tends to be an issue that a lot of people have compromised issues, and the hips and the lower spine tend to go together sometimes. So we'll be doing some exercises for just opening up the hips as well today. So we're going to go ahead and get started in our comfortable seated position though, and then we'll move up onto the chair here shortly. So go ahead and ground into your easy seated posture. When I say grounding into your easy seated posture, we're just closing our eyes, drawing our attention back inside of ourself, grounding through our sits bones. Legs are comfortably crossed or just sticking out in front of you. And dropping those shoulders back and down. And just beginning to find your breath. And if you have a playlist that I either sent you or you want to listen to, you can go ahead and start your playlist now. And just finding your breath and coming back inside of yourself, drawing your attention, your thoughts away from all of the stuff outside and coming back inside. And we're deepening through the breath now, taking the breath deeper, taking it just not from the top of the lungs, but down to the lower lobes of the lungs and all the way down into the belly, even so that on the inhalation, your belly is going to come up away from your body. And on the exhale, you're going to take the navel towards the spine. That is what we're going to call a full body breath. And we're going to begin to practice something called our Ujjayi breath. The Ujjayi breath is also called the oceanic breath. So you're going to keep that mouth closed, the jaw is relaxed, but the tongue is resting in the roof of the mouth, just behind the front teeth. You're going to create an open space in the back of the throat, inhaling and exhaling through the nostrils so that you hear this audible breath that should sound like the waves of the ocean. And if you're breathing into your body, as you're breathing into your body, we're just also encouraging the body to relax, dropping the shoulders back and down, creating length in the spine. Hands are gently resting on the knees. Super slow and gentle. Whenever you're ready, you're going to open those eyes. We're going to come into our first exercise. So we're going to inhale, take those arms up. Elbows are coming directly out from the shoulders. Palms of the hands are facing forward. We're going to inhale, twist to the left side, and exhale, twist to the right side. Close your eyes and draw your attention inside of yourself. And just twist that spine as deep as feels comfortable and safe, remembering we're never pressing into pain or tingling or numbness, but matching that breath with the movement. Inhaling to the left and exhaling to the right. Come back to center. Open up those eyes super, super slow. We're going to inhale, lengthen through the arms, reach the fingertips up into the sky. Release your right hand into the earth. You're going to reach through your left fingertips, but keep both of those sits bones grounded into the earth, both of those glutes. You don't want to lift that right glute away from the mat as you're reaching with those right fingertips. You want to keep it super grounded and connected to the earth. Keep that elevated shoulder drop back and down because you want that heart space open. Inhale, both arms come overhead. And then exhale, dropping the left arm into the earth, the left hand, and reaching through the left arm. You're going to feel that nice side stretch here. And just breathe into the body. Don't forget to breathe. Sometimes we'll hold our breath when we're in posture, and we don't want to do that. Inhale, lifting both arms upward into the sky. We're going to drop our left hand behind our left glute. Right hand comes to the outside of the left thigh and take a spinal twist, gazing over your left shoulder if it feels safe on your neck. If it doesn't, keep a neutral gaze. And just breathe. You can close your eyes if that feels good. Super slow, untwisting the spine. Reach those hands back up into the air. We're going to drop our left hand behind our left glute this time. Right hand comes to outside of the right thigh. And taking your gaze over the opposite shoulder. Keep that spine super straight as you're twisting and gazing. Untwist the spine. Reach those arms back overhead. Exhale, really, really slow. We're going to release those arms all the way down gently until those fingertips find the earth. Going to take the hands on top of the knees. So something that I think is really interesting, and I don't think I've mentioned it in this class before, but I mention it in all my other classes, is that our spine is one of the only areas that does not have its own pump to push the cerebrospinal fluid into all of the little nooks and crannies of the spine so that it can have that fluidity and mobility of being. We actually have to take movements. We have to facilitate the movement of that cerebrospinal fluid to get into all of those little spaces. So if we're not engaging in any kind of movements like we are today that are specifically targeting the spine and that lower spine, then we're not going to be allowing that cerebrospinal fluid to have that clear channel and move into all of the nooks and crannies of that incredible spinal system that we have. That central nervous system is literally responsible for everything. So we want to take really good care of it. So the movement is a necessity. If you want to have that mobility and function within your being, you got to move your spinal fluid. And I've actually seen in the last couple of years, lots of people suffer from different kinds of maladies because they haven't been moving that cerebrospinal fluid. It backs up in the spine. It can cause pressure in your eyes, ocular issues, all kinds of things that you don't want to deal with. So you want to make sure you're doing some of this stuff regularly and moving that cerebrospinal fluid. And a lot of stuff that we're going to be doing today is targeting all of that so that you can move that spinal fluid, that you can nourish the spine, but also get the movements that are necessary to keep it loose and open. Okay? So for this next one, we're going to stay in our easy seated posture. Gently resting the hands on the knees. We're going to roll our body down, starting with the belly, moving to the chest, to the head, and then we're going to roll it back up. So it's going to look like this. Down, rolling. Crown of the head is the last thing to drop towards the earth, and then rolling it back up, vertebra by vertebra through the spine. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up, and you can move as fast or as slow as you need to here. Inhale back to center. We're going to come into what's called our Soupy Grind. So we're going to rotate the entire part of our body around the base of our spine. You're going to feel a lot of that movement in your lower spine. You're going to inhale deeply, exhale, hinging forward from the hips, and then starting towards the left or the right side, you're going to take that rotation. You can close your eyes. This is a really meditative movement, so you can allow yourself to kind of get lost in it. Just giving the body permission to move you. We're going to inhale from the front to the back here and exhale from the back to the front. Next time you're towards the front of that rotation, draw it in the opposite direction. Again, inhaling from the front to the back and exhaling from the back to the front. Inhale. We're going to rise up back to center. Take 2 deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. We're going to come up onto our tabletop position on our hands and knees before we move into our chair. So go ahead and come up on those hands and knees. We're going to come into our cat-cow stretches. This is one of those postures that really moves that spinal fluid. It works every part of your spine, so it's really beneficial to do this one regularly. And just to check your posture for a minute, you want to make sure that the shoulders are stacked on top of the wrists, hips are stacked on top of the knees. You're going to lift your tailbone and drop your belly, lifting the gaze. Hold that posture for a moment and just breathe into your body. Tucking the tailbone, rounding through the spine and dropping the chin to the chest, releasing the crown of the head to the earth for your cat, and hold that posture and breathe. Inhale into your cow. Exhale into your cat. Just keep moving the spine like a wave, starting at the tailbone and working towards the crown of the head. Come back into your tabletop position. We're going to lift up through our left arm and kick out through our left leg. If you can't kick out through that right leg at the same time, keep it grounded into the earth, just reaching through the right arm. Fingertips are directly towards the front of the room. And breathe. Exhale, release the hand and the knee into the mat, shifting the hips side to side for a minute. Come back into your tabletop position. We're going to kick out through the left leg and reach out through the right fingertips this time. Keep that knee grounded into the mat if that feels like too much. Exhale, take the hand and the knee back into the mat and shifting those hips side to side. We're going to come into what we call our puppy pose. So you're going to walk those hands up towards the top of the mat as far as you can. Stretch those fingers forward until you release the forehead into the earth. Those glutes are going to be pointed directly up into the sky. Still resting on those knees. Tops of the feet are gently resting into the earth. And breathe. Super slow and gentle. You're going to pull those hands back, press into the palms, draw the forehead away from the earth, curl the toes under, and press the hips upward for your downward facing dog. And just breathe into the body for a moment. This is our pyramid posture as well. We're building our power, the core of our being, strengthening that aspect of ourselves. Dropping the heels towards the earth. Shift your gaze towards the hands or the top of the mat. You're going to step or float towards those hands and hang in your forward fold. Whenever you're feeling a lot of stress in the spine, this is a great posture to take. You can take those fingers and plant them underneath the tops of the feet, just stepping on the palms of the hands with the toes. Straighten through the legs. And lengthening through the spine, releasing the weight of the crown of the head towards the mat. Or you can take your pinkies into opposite elbows and shift side to side. Just play with that movement for a minute and feel which one feels best to you. You can even keep your fingertips grounded into the earth if that feels better. You can take a gentle bounce there. Just creating space in those vertebrae, opening up space, releasing that pressure on those discs, on the bones of the spine. And then really, really, really slow and gentle, keep the bend in the knees and roll up through the spine, vertebra by vertebra. And every time I do that, I will hear the spine popping. Now we're going to move into our chair. So if you have a little chair that you can sit in, your couch or whatever, then go ahead and bring that out. And we're going to start to take some gentle movements here. So this is that stuff, like I said, if you find a park bench or a chair or something like that, or if you're at work and you have to sit at a computer all day long or something, take a little break and do some of these exercises, and they'll be really good for you. We're going to start with our left leg. I'm actually going to turn this so y'all can see me better. We'll start with our left leg. Keep the right foot gently resting on the mat. And you're just going to flex through that left leg. That's just going to release a little bit of hamstring tension. You can just keep those palms of the hands gently resting on the thighs. Switch sides, take the left foot into the mat, flexing the right foot as you lengthen through the leg. If you need to come towards the edge a little bit more so that you can straighten that leg. Now we're going to take our left leg and we're going to cross it over our right. So you never want to rest the ankle on the knee. You always want to rest just over the ankle, just over the knee. So you never want to rest on your joints. You always want to have, you know, on that meatier part of your leg, because you put pressure on those joints, it can be bad for your leg. So making sure that your right knee is stacked on top of your right ankle and you're in this figure four stretch. You can even take your hands and clasp them underneath the right thigh. And you're going to draw the heart space in. But if that doesn't feel good, you can just release, hinge forward from the hips, and breathe. Super slow, inhale and rise up. We're going to take it to the opposite side, releasing the left foot into the earth. We're going to bend our right leg, take it over. Now, figure four style stretch. If you want to rest your hands on your thighs or put those hands wherever feels comfortable and safe, you're going to inhale deeply and then exhale, hinge forward from the hips. Sometimes you'll notice it's harder on one side than the other. That may be the dominant side that you use. You also may put a little more pressure on that and use those muscles a little bit more. Inhale and rise up slowly. We're going to come into a spinal twist now. So we're going to take our hands into our heart center, and we're going to take our right elbow. We're going to drop it over the thigh of our left leg and twist our spine, working to draw the hands towards the center of the heart space. You can gaze over your left shoulder if that feels okay on your neck. If not, just keep a neutral gaze. But listen to your body. And breathe into the posture. It's when we hold these postures that the body slowly opens up. In repetitive motion, doing these things again and again and again, the more the body responds, the more it releases that tension, the more it opens up and lengthens the tendons and the muscles, giving you greater mobility and the function of your body. Inhale, come back up to center. We're going to take it to the opposite side. Left elbow. It's going to come over the right thigh this time, twisting through the spine. gazing over the right shoulder if it feels safe on your neck. And then untwisting the spine. Take yourself back towards the front of the room. We're going to release those hands. We're going to take our legs wide this time. Take the legs wide, not trying to do the splits or anything, just comfortably wide. You're going to take your hands to the inside of just over the top of your knee. We're going to drop our right shoulder down, taking a gentle twist and gazing over your left shoulder if it feels safe. And just breathing into the body. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, we're going to drop the left shoulder this time, gazing over the right shoulder. Inhale, rising back up to center. You're going to keep those legs spread wide. You're going to drop your hands down into the mat and allow your head to hang. Just breathing into the body. Use your core to inhale and roll up through your spine. Take your legs back together. Come a little bit closer towards the edge of your chair here. And we're going to take some spinal flexations in our chair. So even if you're sitting in your chair, you can inhale, press the heart space forward, past the biceps, and tip the head back so that the gaze is towards the ceiling. Again, only if it feels safe on your neck. And we're not going to turn to the left or right. Keep the gaze directly above you. And we're going to exhale. We're going to drop the chin to the chest and round through the spine. It's like a seated cat-cow. So we're going to do a few now. Inhaling up, exhaling down, inhaling up, exhaling down. Continue at your own pace. Inhale, back to center. This time we're going to twist towards the left side. You're going to take your hands underneath the edge of your seat and just twist to the left side, gazing over your left shoulder. Exhale back to center. We're going to take it to the opposite side on the next inhalation, grabbing the underside of the right side of your chair and gazing over the right shoulder. That actually feels really good in the shoulders and the upper spine also. And then untwisting the spine, come back to center. We're going to do those seated reaches. So even if you're sitting in your chair, you can release one hand down, reach through the opposite side. You can even take that hand across the opposite thigh, the left hand to the outside of the right thigh, and reaching through the right fingertips. Take it to the opposite side. Right hand comes to the outside of the left thigh, reaching through the left fingertips. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, fold the belly over the thighs and allow the crown of the head to hang. Palms, tops of the hands are gently resting into the mat. Inhale and roll up through the spine, super slow. One more seated exercise before we stand up. We're going to take those hands behind our head. Fingers are clasped. We're not going to put any pressure on the back of the neck or the back of the head, just holding space back there. We're going to exhale, drop the elbows as we round through the spine, take them in. Exhale, open up through those elbows and lifting the gaze up. Exhale, take it in. Inhale up. Inhale up. Take a few deep breaths before we come into our standing position. In through the nose, out through the nose. And then coming into a standing position, we're going to move these chairs out of the way. And then grounding through all four corners of both of your feet. Feet are going to be about hips width distance apart. Close the eyes and breathe into the body. Inhale, arms are going to come overhead, reaching those fingertips into the sky. And then exhale, we're going to bend through our knees. And we're going to drop the tailbone towards the earth. We're not going to keep the tailbone tucked out, though. We're going to keep that pelvis tucked under our body so that you have one long center line of the body, okay? And just breathe into that posture. Inhale, rise up, and exhale, forward fold, swan diving forward. We're going to bend through our right knee and keep that left leg nice and long. You're going to take your right hand and place it in front of the foot of the left side. You're going to take that left hand, lift it up into the sky. You can gaze upward if it feels safe. Otherwise, keep your gaze towards the earth. Bend that knee on the right side as much as you need to. Or you can rest your hand somewhere on your shin bone. Exhale, release. We're going to take it to the opposite side, bending through the left leg this time. Left hand comes in front of the right foot, swinging up through the right arm, gazing towards the fingers if it feels safe on the neck. Exhale, release those hands. Walk them back into that centered posture. Those hands, both hands are planted in front of both feet now. We're going to walk our feet out a little more than hips width distance now. And your toes are going to be out towards the edges of your mat, more like a 45-degree angle. You're going to exhale and drop your glutes down towards your heels. Now, if you cannot do this, if it feels like you need to keep those heels up, you can find a blanket or something to roll up and put under each foot to support you if you need to. But we want to work towards a flat-footed posture and dropping the tailbone down towards the earth. Again, not pressing that pelvis back and up. You want to keep that pelvis underneath your body. And then you can take your hands into prayer pose. Elbows come inside of the knees. Open up through the hips. And breathe into the body. Releasing those hands in front of the body. You're going to inhale, press the glutes up into the sky. We're going to walk the feet out a little bit more now. Toes are out at a 45-degree angle. Inhaling and rolling up through the spine. Arms come overhead. Exhale, you're going to cactus out through those arms, dropping those elbows in alignment with the shoulders. Inhale, take those hands up, and exhale, release. You're going to clasp your hands behind your back, and exhale, hinge forward from the hips, allowing those fists to rise up into the sky. And breathe, releasing the weight of the crown of the head towards the mat. When you can no longer hold onto those hands, release the hands underneath the heart space. Inhale and roll up through the spine. Keeping those toes out at a 45-degree angle, you're going to take your hands and gently rest them on the hips. Inhale deeply. We're going to start to rotate our body, dropping the crown of the head towards the right wall, taking it forward so that the crown of the head shines forward. Circular motion coming up on the left, back into the sky. So continue on at your own pace, first in one direction. All of these things are things you can do to build your own little, even 10-minute practice a day, working on different parts of the body that you've learned from some of these different classes that target some of those areas that are most compromised on your body, that need the most strengthening. And it will make a world of difference, even just 10 minutes a day. We're matching our breath with our movement, inhaling from the top to the bottom, exhaling from the bottom to the top. And the next time you find yourself towards the bottom of the rotation, take it in the opposite direction. One more time, and then we're going to inhale, come back up. Releasing those hands down from those hips. Take a gentle bend in those knees. You're going to inhale deeply. Exhale, left hand is going to come in front of the right toes, reaching the right fingertips into the sky. Inhale back to center. Exhale, right hand comes in front of the left toes, reaching through the left fingertips this time. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, take it down, bending through that right knee as you reach the left hand across. Opposite side, bend into it. Inhale, come up, release those hands down, walk those feet together. Keeping that right hand down on the right thigh, we're going to inhale, lift up through the left fingertips and reach towards the opposite wall. Keep that shoulder back and down. You don't want to be reaching like this where the arm's coming across you. You want that bicep hugging the ear. We're going to take it to the opposite side. Inhale up. Left hand comes down to the left thigh, reaching across through the right fingertips. Breathe. And release. Take those hands and clasp them in front of you, except for the pointer fingers. They're still going to be down. You're going to inhale, lift those fingertips up into the sky, and exhale. Only if this feels safe on your neck, drop the crown of the head towards the back wall and the gaze towards the sky. Exhale, release those hands, super, super, super slow, rising back up. You're going to take your hands behind you, this time clasping those fists. Exhale, hinge forward from the hips. Fist comes into the sky. Inhale, rising up very slow with grace and ease. We're going to come into a balancing posture now. So grounding through your right leg first. We're going to inhale, lift up through the left. Take your hands and clasp them around the shin bone of that left leg and pull the knee into the chest if you can. You can flex the toes of that foot. And breathe into the body. You're going to have a drishti gaze here, which means you're going to have one extra point of contact from your body through the earth by staring at one point on the wall, in front of you, or on the floor. Exhale, release that leg, pedal out those feet. Take it to the opposite side. Grounding through the left foot, bending the right knee. Clasp those hands around the shin bone. I'm going to fall out of that one. Take your time. If you fall out, just come back in. We're playful with this stuff. We're not all serious, and it's not a big deal. One side, we're usually going to have a little bit more balance than the other. So just listen to your body. Take your time. No pressure. I fall out of posture all the time. Exhale, release the foot, pedal it out. Inhale, arms come overhead. Exhale, cactus out the arms. Inhale, reach those fingertips into the sky, and exhale, diving forward. Inhale, we're going to half lift, crown of the head shining towards the front of the room. And exhale, drop those hands down into the mat, step it back for your plank posture. And then exhale, drop the heart space towards the earth, keep the elbows in tight towards the body. We're going to come into our Cobra Pose here. So you're going to keep those hands back in alignment with the chest. Elbows are going to remain in tight towards the body. On your inhalation, you're going to engage those glutes. Keep those shoulders down away from your ears as you inhale and rise up. Keep a gentle bend in those elbows if you need to. Navel is drawn towards the spine. Keep that core engaged. Collarbones are spread out. Shoulders are stacked on top of the wrists. Super, super slow whenever you're ready. Release the hips down, the belly down, the chest. And we're going to come into our seal posture. So you're going to take your fingers up into the corners of your mat, pointed out towards those corners. And inhale, pressing into the palms of the hands, lifting that upper body away from the mat. Keep those feet towards each other. Gentle bend in the elbows. Gaze is forward. Chin is parallel to the earth. And then exhale, release. Super slow, take it down. Press into the palms. Draw yourself upwards. Take the glutes back towards the heels for your child's pose as you release the forehead into the earth and reach those fingertips towards the top of the mat. You can even take those hands back, fingertips towards the feet. Just listen to your body. Take whichever version of that posture feels best. It's really important that we take a counter stretch on the spine. When you bend it one way, you always want to bend it in the opposite way to release any tension. Taking those hands forward, pressing the forehead away from the mat. Come up on your hands and knees so that we can drop the glutes down. Swing the legs around in front of us so that we can finish our practice. Keep those soles of the feet gently resting into the earth and lengthen through the spine. Arms frame the legs, fingertips are forward. Super slow. Use your core strength to release the spine down into the mat. Arms come to the side of the body. Take a couple deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. And then inhale, we're going to take the knees into the chest. Rock side to side for a second, massaging that lower spine onto the mat. Also, another really good movement for moving that spinal fluid. Holding on to just the right leg, you're going to inhale, lift up through the left. And exhale, take it down. Super, super slow. We're going to come into our cat stretch. So reaching out through your left arm, your right arm, left hand comes to the outside of the right leg, pulling it across the body, but keeping the shoulders grounded into the mat. Gaze can be directly into the sky, or you can look over your right fingertips if it feels safe on your neck. Untwist the spine, super, super slow. Inhale and take the knees back into your chest. Holding on to just the left leg, inhale, lifting up through the right. Exhale, take it down, super, super slow, grace the knees. Reaching out through the left arm. Right hand comes to the outside of the left leg, pull it across. Untwist the spine. Knees come back into the chest. We're going to rock back and forth a little bit here. And then release the spine down. Take those outer edges of the feet into your hands. Knees come into the armpits. You can take a little movement here or remain in stillness. Release those feet whenever you're ready, finding your final Shavasana corpse pose. Arms come to the side of the body. Palms can be face up to receive or face down to ground. Allow the feet to fall to the side. And find your breath. Breathing into the body. Nice, deep, full body breath. And just relax fully and completely into the earth beneath you. Really slow and gentle whenever you're ready. Start coming back into your body by wiggling your fingers and toes. You can wrap your hands around your wrists or your feet around your ankles. Take any gentle stretches that you might need. And then taking those knees into your chest one last time, rock and roll upright into a comfortable seated position. We'll finish our practice today with 3 long deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Inhaling deeply. Exhale completely. Inhale. And exhale. Take those hands in the heart center. Sat Nam, Namaste. Sat Nam means I am truth. Truth is my name. Namaste means I see that truth that exists within you. I honor you that you have your own truth. So thanks for joining me today. Hopefully you guys learned some things that you can put in your back pocket. Next time we're going to put together a class that's going to target a lot of different areas. So you can have that one exercise or that one class that hits a lot of different areas and kind of attacks all of those different things that are important to you. So I hope you guys have an awesome day. Thanks so much for joining me, and I will look forward to seeing y'all next time. Bye.